I'm Natalie Pasquarella. Well, it's a tale of two peaks in the battle against coronavirus. In New York, the lowest daily death toll in a month, 289 people. That's as New Jersey had more deaths for a second day in a row with 311. The school year is now over in the state of New York. Governor Cuomo has announced that all schools will stay closed. A decision on summer school will come, though, by the end of this month. And on Monday, more than 7 miles of streets will close to drivers in and around city parks. They will open for pedestrians and improve social distancing. Now, this will eventually extend to 100 miles. In the tri-state, cases have now crossed 458,000, with the number of deaths at 28,487 people. I want to go to News 4's Andrew Siff live at the Javits Center, where the last patient was discharged today. Andrew.
Yes, that's right, Natalie. Not only that, but the field hospital in Central Park, we've learned that one will be closing down in about 2 weeks. And remember, the field hospitals like this one were set up to prevent city hospitals from reaching capacity, an absolute crisis level in this pandemic. That did not happen, but now new challenges ahead to maintain social distancing as more people head outside. Better weather bringing with it big challenges for cooped-up New Yorkers trying to stay socially distant outdoors. Mayor de Blasio's promise to ban cars from certain blocks near parks doesn't start until Monday. I asked him why not before the weekend.
Certainly will consult with the NYPD and the Parks Department today to see if there's any way to speed it up.
Also arriving soon, the MTA's new plan to disinfect every train by shutting down overnight service starting Wednesday.
You'll never be perfect, but we have to do everything we possibly can.
Transit President Sarah Feinberg telling me by Zoom her team still has to figure out how to get 11,000 people to work between 1 and 5 a.m. without charging them any money.
So here's the most difficult part of trying to build the airplane while you're flying it, is that not everything is worked out when you take off.
Meanwhile, schools now officially closed for all of May and June, maybe for the summer too. And even September has a cloudy outlook, according to Governor Cuomo.
There is no decision on the fall, because the fall is a long time away.
The governor telling New Yorkers the pandemic fight has a long way to go. Even though today marked a notable milestone, more than 1,000 people treated and released at the Javits Center, set up as an emergency by the governor when hospital capacity neared a dangerous peak. The last patients leaving Javits today, meaning it's no longer a field hospital. The governor today was asked,
how would you evaluate your performance during this crisis?
Tried my best.
Moments later, he added,
I can tell you this, New Yorkers did an extraordinary job and reduced the rate of hospitalizations by about 100,000 and saved thousands of lives.
But here's a sobering reality. They are keeping the Javits Center on standby to be quickly staffed back up in case the virus experiences a second wave. Live on the west side, Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
All right, Andrew, thank you for that. We want to get to an update now on breaking news, what could be a huge factor in reopening the tri-state. The FDA just approved emergency use of Remdesivir. That's the drug that's shown promising results in the sickest coronavirus patients. The CEO of the drug maker, Gilead, joined the president and vice president in the Oval Office to talk about this breakthrough.
Humbled by this being an important first step for patients, for hospitalized patients. We want to make sure nothing gets in the way of these patients getting the medicine.
The drug company is donating 1.5 million doses of the medicine to hospitals, and it will start being administered on Monday. NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt tonight digging much deeper into this. You'll see more coming up at 6:30. Well, right now we want to take a closer look at the struggle 4.2 million New York students will face as schools are now closed for the academic year. News 4's Miles Miller joins us from Carroll Gardens.
We must protect our students. We have to protect our educators.
And with that, Governor Andrew Cuomo closed schools across the state for the rest of the academic year, a decision that affects 4.2 million students across the state. Many were eager to get back in the classroom. Parents worry.
It feels a little bit like he's missing his childhood.
The union representing teachers applauded Cuomo's decision. UFT President Michael Mulgrew saying in a statement, this gives educators, parents, and elected officials time to tackle the challenges of reopening the buildings and figuring out the right balance of in-person and distance learning for when they do. For some parents, distance learning has been a struggle.
What's the biggest struggle for you?
I guess the discipline, yeah, and the routine.
You know, a lot of the stuff kind of like left my brain years ago, so I'm like, what the heck? But
you find he's teaching you stuff?
Yeah.
A determination on summer school is expected by the end of the month. The governor saying the state would need to see a big drop in the infection rate for a period of time. If you're wondering if school will be back in the fall, the governor saying tonight, that's a long ways away. We're in Carl Gardens, Brooklyn tonight. I'm Miles Miller, News 4 New York.
All right, this weekend we are headed for the 70s, but first take a look at this beautiful shot. Now, the 70s a concern for social distancing. Want to bring in Storm Team 4's Janice Huff with a look ahead at this forecast. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Natalie. Yes, we are starting to clear out already around the tri-state, but there's still some spots getting a little bit of rain that's left over, even some thunderstorms that we're tracking right now. This beautiful view of New York Harbor shows us a lot. We've got Lady Liberty to the right there, Governor's Island, Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Verrazano Bridge, and just to the left middle part of your screen, a thunderstorm that's down the Jersey Shore, slowly moving away, but not offshore just yet. Right along 195 down towards Toms River in Stafford, we're seeing a couple of clusters there that include some lightning and have had small hail with them as well. So watch out at the Jersey Shore for the next hour or so. Otherwise, there's a few thunderstorms over central Massachusetts, but the rest of the tri-state is slowly starting to clear out as this system moves away from us finally to give way to a beautiful weekend. Yes, we have to practice social distancing at its best over the weekend. Hopefully we can enjoy some of this sunshine. 72 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday, but it cools down after that, and I've got that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Janice, thanks. We'll talk to you soon. Well, tomorrow's nice weather, she mentioned, will be a big test for much of the tri-state. More importantly, New Jersey, parks and golf courses reopen at sunrise. But social distancing and wearing that face covering has to continue, or they could close again if the cases were to spike. Today, the state added another 311 deaths. You can see now more than 121,000 people have tested positive there. News 4's Chris Glorioso live in Newark with the latest. A big weekend ahead, Chris.
Yeah, we are live in front of Branch Brook Park. This is Newark's biggest publicly owned park, and of course it's well known for the Cherry Blossom Festival that had to be canceled this year. Well, it is poised to reopen tomorrow because the governor's order allows county parks like this and state parks to reopen with some strict guidelines. You'll be allowed to walk, jog, or ride bikes, but picnicking, barbecuing, no go.
So everybody who goes to the park should remember to bring a cloth-based covering.
New Jersey State DEP Commissioner Catherine McCabe says state parks will reopen at sunrise, but it won't be recreation as usual. Restrooms will stay closed, no picnic areas or playgrounds, and people need to stay 6 feet apart or else.
If people do not take these restrictions seriously, is it possible the governor is going to rescind this order?
Yes, it is. The governor made that very clear. He has said that repeatedly in the last few days.
We will not hesitate, and I don't say this with any joy, to reclose the parks. I sincerely do not want to do that.
Along with state parks, most New Jersey county parks are reopening Saturday, too. In Hudson County, Jersey City was the first to open its municipal parks earlier this week. But Newark's municipal parks and those in 6 nearby towns will remain closed this weekend. The mayor of Guttenberg says his population density is too high and infections are still too high.
Our responsibility is the safety and the health of the residents, and by open up these parks and getting them inundated and obviously cleaning them and the health risks that are there, we think it's better if we sit back.
With this weekend expected to bring perhaps the year's nicest weather so far, a key way Parks Police will try and combat overcrowding is by limiting parking lots to half capacity. The DEP commissioner says it's the only way we can all enjoy the outdoors together, apart.
If you arrive at a park whose parking lot is already at its maximum 50% capacity, we'll have to ask you to move on to see if you can find another park.
Public health officials really don't want people traveling far away from their homes to find a park. These parks have local and regional capacities. They say Parks Police will be out in force. They will issue citations. We should also point out that many golf courses around the state are going to open, but they're going to have new rules, including fewer people allowed in a group and more time in between each tee time. Reporting live from Newark, Chris Glorioso, News 4 New York.
All right, Chris, thanks. We just have to stick with the plan there. Okay, tonight we are learning more about Connecticut's plan to reopen the state. But May 20th is the target date for businesses like outdoor restaurants, retail, and some salons to reopen. This comes as the state reports hospitalizations are down now for the 9th day in a row. Great news there. There are 1,064 new positive cases and 82 deaths. Governor Lamont says a decision about schools is coming next week. We will, of course, keep you posted on that.